Welcome back to Total F1. Today, we're going to discuss about some of the famous brands that were formerly active in F1 as engine suppliers. There are many companies that really love to invest in this great motorsport series, as it provides an effortless promotion to their brands globally, and it also offers a method for the company to show off their financial and technical strength. But it's hard to survive inside this motorsport series as an engine supplier for a long term, with the different types of challenges offered by the sport. That's why we can find a long list of engine suppliers which are currently inactive in Formula 1. However, we have excluded the brands that went through the rebadging process, as they didn't make engines by their own efforts. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. As one of the leading brands in the automobile industry, BMW tried to find success in 4 different eras of the sport. Its first appearance in the sport happened in 1950 during the inaugural edition of the Formula 1 Championship. Since then, it withdrew and rejoined the sport several times, making a heavy effort to establish its identity within the world's fastest motorsport series. But in summary, BMW enjoyed considerable success as an engine supplier, powering Nelson Piquet's Brabham to win the 1983 driver's title. Out of the 273 starts with BMW engines, drivers were able to record 20 victories and 86 podiums, which is a pretty decent record for any engine supplier. The partnership between BMW and Sauber F1 came to an end in 2009, and since then, the German car maker totally disappeared from the sport. Even though Lamborghini is famous as a manufacturer of fast road cars, people are questioning why they don't participate in F1, like its rival brand Ferrari. Actually, more old people know about its presence in the Formula 1 industry. Their first appearance happened in 1989, supplying engines for the LaRousse team. However, it failed to bring its success in road car industry into F1. Later, it provided engines for teams like Lotus, Ligier, Minardi, and Modena. But all those deals were limited to 1 season, as team management easily realized that the F1 engines supplied by Lamborghini were not powerful. The Italian sports car maker totally disappeared from the sport 4 years later in 1993, and since then, it has never tried to rejoin the sport. Numbers clearly talk about its failure in F1, as Lamborghini-powered cars were able to score only a single podium without any victories, as the best achievement out of 80 race starts. The French car maker joined the industry back in 1994, supplying engines to the second most successful team in the sport, McLaren, but that deal came to an end in the same year. But Peugeot continued its presence in the sport, supplying engines to teams like Jordan and Prost, enjoying moderate success in the sport. They were a little bit more successful than Lamborghini, as 14 podiums were scored out of 115 race starts, but Peugeot-powered cars also failed to seal any victories. The French car manufacturer left the sport after selling its F1 interests to Asiatech at the end of 2000. This may be the most surprising brand on the list, as it's more famous for 2-wheeled racing than 4-wheel. The Japanese bike maker manufactured and supplied engines to 4 different Formula 1 teams during the period between 1989 to 1997. Teams like Zakspeed, Brabham, Jordan, Tyrrell, and Arrows became customers of Yamaha, and none of these teams were able to make a significant impact on the championship during their periods with Yamaha engines. There were many reliability issues with these Yamaha-powered cars, which became the reason behind its failure as an engine supplier. Out of 116 race starts, different types of Yamaha-powered cars were able to score only 2 podiums, clearly representing its failure in numbers. Porsche was involved in Grand Prix racing since the pre-championship era and continued its presence in the initial stage of F1 during the period between 1958 to 1964. The Porsche 718 and 804 were used in that era, enjoying moderate success. It returned to the sport after a 2-decade absence in 1983, supplying V6 turbo engines to the McLaren team. However, these Porsche engines were rebadged as TAG, as the development process was totally funded by the Luxembourg-based company, but engines came to use with the label "Made by Porsche" on the engine cover. These Porsche engines successfully powered McLaren to win the 1984, 1985 and 1986 drivers' titles and constructors' titles in the first 2 years as well. At the end of the 1987 season, TAG Porsche engines disappeared from the Formula 1 arena after enjoying heavy success within a brief time interval. Then they returned to F1 racing in 1987, powering the footwork arrows using a design similar to the engines supplied to McLaren a few years ago. But this time, Porsche experienced a disastrous campaign with footwork arrows, and the British F1 team sacked its engine supplier, opening a new deal with Cosworth to supply engines. Since then, they never tried to return to F1 for over 3 decades. However, they tried to open a new engine deal with Red Bull in 2022, targeting the 2026 season. But Red Bull rejected the deal after a few rounds of discussion, as they didn't want to transfer the team ownership to Porsche. Maserati earned huge success with their powerful engines in the early stages of the Formula 1 Championship, and also in the pre-championship era. Maserati-powered cars were able to win the 1954 and 1957 Drivers' Championships. Juan Manuel Fangio drove the factory Maserati cars to the championship in those 2 instances. Apart from powering their own factory team, Maserati became an engine supplier for teams like Arzani Volpini, Cooper, Curtis Craft, JBW, Tech Mech, Emerson, Lotus and EMB. They continuously supplied engines till the end of the 1969 season, recording 11 victories, 44 podiums, 11 pole positions, and 17 fastest laps out of 108 race starts. These stats are great milestones for an engine supplier. However, they permanently ceased their Formula 1 operations in 1969, despite their early success. Even though this great brand never returned to F1, at least as a customer team, it decided to join the all-electric racing series Formula E in 2022 as the first Italian manufacturer to do so. This giant automobile brand decided to join the premium racing category back in 2002 as a factory team as well as an engine supplier. But the Japanese car maker struggled a lot in adjusting to the high-speed world of Formula 1 as an engine manufacturer. With the reputation it had as a road car maker, teams like Jordan, Midland F1 and Williams used Toyota engines to power their F1 challenges. Neither factory team nor any other Toyota customer were able to enjoy considerable success with Toyota engines, recording 17 podiums, 3 pole positions, and 4 fastest laps as their best achievement out of 140 race appearances. With the first ever financial loss experienced by a parent company in 2009, Japanese management of the company decided to withdraw from the sport at the end of that season. Ford is ready to make a return to the sport in 2026 with a technical partnership with Red Bull Powertrains. However, they were once heavily involved in the sport, supplying engines for a large number of teams during the period between 1967 to 2004. During that era, Ford-powered cars were able to record 176 Grand Prix victories out of 528 race appearances, being one of the most reliable and powerful engine suppliers in Formula 1 history. Apart from that, Ford-powered cars were able to record 139 pole positions and 159 fastest laps as well. However, its factory team, Jaguar, which joined the sport in 2000, was unable to enjoy that success as its arrival happened after passing the golden era of Ford. However, most of these Ford engines were manufactured by the Cosworth company based in the United Kingdom, and they were the manufacturers of racing engines for Ford since the 1950s. Finally, Cosworth company was purchased by Ford in 1998 and carried out its operations until its withdrawal in 2004. But Cosworth had its own story apart from the relationship with Ford. It joined the sport supplying engines for the first time in 1967 and continued its operations till the end of the 2013 season, even beyond Ford's withdrawal from the industry in 2004. Within a considerable part of its timeline, Ford became the funding source of Cosworth for its development process, and that's why both the brands pop up as a duo in the history of motorsport. Cosworth-powered cars won 13 drivers' titles and 10 constructors' titles, being one of the greatest engine suppliers in history. However, Cosworth engines manufactured in the post-Ford era were not successful like in the past. One of the automobile brands that has built its reputation as a builder of the world's fastest cars had tried one time in the Formula 1 Championship a long time ago. They supplied engines for their factory team, Automobiles Bugatti, for the 1956 season. Actually, they participated in only one race there, and apart from that, we can't find any evidence for its presence in the sport. Those are only a few of the engine suppliers in the list, and through this first part, we focused mainly on the major automobile brands who are active in the sport as engine suppliers. So, in the second video, we hope to focus on another set of engine suppliers, and your comments are really appreciated to provide you with greater content. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula 1 news. See you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.